What's up guys, it's Carter and I'm back with another video. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I spray painted my Powertec Levergym and made a few other changes. So yeah, I really got tired of the yellow Powertec Levergym. I had originally bought the yellow because I had a yellow and black power rack and I thought it would match and look pretty cool, but I immediately regretted it when it got delivered and realized it's a different yellow. It was pretty much a orangey yellow and not the yellow that my rack was, so immediately regretted it and wish I had gotten the black one. So I'm going to be painting it mostly black, but I'm going to add in some stainless steel color as well, just for a little bit of a pop and something a little different. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So we'll start off with the bench. The only thing I really had to do to the bench was just paint this yellow stripe that goes around the edge, and unfortunately I had to rip off this seam that goes around the upper part of the bench pad because it had gotten torn doing some exercises before, and then it just started ripping, and it's obviously not stitched into the side of the bench like it appears. It's actually stapled, and I went ahead and just started painting. It looked pretty good, so I'll show you guys at the end with that. And that was it for the bench. So then I moved on to the Levergym, and I started off by painting these lever arm position adjustment expansion plates, and I used this stainless steel detail paint from, I believe it's POR 15, and this stuff is really supposed to stick well, so that's why I went with it, because I know I'm going to be pulling those pull pins in and out, and wanted to minimize any kind of chipping or scratching if possible. So I painted those, and after a couple coats, 2-3 coats, it came out looking really nice. I was happy with that. And then I moved on to painting the first thing in black, which was the rear lever arm for the cable system. So I took that off of the Levergym, went ahead and painted that to see what it was going to look like. Took a few coats. This is after just pretty much one coat. And I'll tell you really have to paint this from different angles, because you'll think you've covered it all the way up, and then you look from a different angle and you can still see some yellow. So it really did take at least 3 coats in most spots to really adhere and to look like a nice thick coat. So got that done and put everything back together. It looked pretty good, so I figured I'd go ahead and continue with the rest of the Levergym. Also painted the weight horns silver, and then put those adapter sleeves on them. And then I went ahead and took the whole Levergym apart. And man, as soon as I started taking that thing apart, I was like, what have I got myself into? This is a pretty big project. And there's a lot of prep work involved. So I had to pretty much sand every piece to make sure that the paint was going to adhere right. I really, like I said, I really didn't want it to chip off or scratch or anything. That was one of my main concerns with this project. Is it going to look like shit in about a year? So trying to minimize all the scratching as much as possible. So I decided to paint also the band pegs in that stainless steel, and then the support beams that hold the storage pins. And I was going to paint a little bit more than that, but I started to run low on that paint, and it's pretty expensive, so I just stopped there. And after I sanded everything down, the rest of these were going to be black, so I thought that'd be a nice contrast with the band pegs being the metallic color, and then the rest of the base being black. And then I didn't want to paint the whole support beam in silver or the metallic color, because there where it bolts to the side of the middle of the Powertec Levergym was going to be black, so I wanted to tape it off right there and end the silver color there and paint the rest of those ends black. So some more prep work. I just wanted to cover up the weight horns of the lever arms, make sure I didn't get any black paint on them, but they were going to be all black. And I was using this Krylon Fusion all-in-one textured black paint. I went with this off the recommendation of McAllister Strength Company. I believe he recommended this when he was doing a storage rack or something like that, and he said that that was the best paint to kind of match with the rep rack, and that's what I have, is a black rep rack, so I went ahead and went with that, and it came out pretty good. Like I said, several coats. Had to paint from a lot of different angles to make sure I got full coverage, but it was looking good. And then there was a lot of rainy days while I was trying to do this, of course, so I'd get a little bit done and then, you know, it'd start raining, or the forecast wouldn't allow for me to do this on any of my days off at all. So really took a little over a week, maybe a week and a half, for me to even get this project done because it just kept raining. So on that final day, I had a nice day all day, and I just went ahead and knocked it out. The rest of it, the main pieces, Levergym. And this took me, all in all, I think about 5 cans of black paint. Had a little bit left over, and just 1 can of the metallic paint. Alright, so after it dried for several hours and I went about my day, came back later on and made sure it was dry, everything looked good, so I went ahead and put everything back together, and had a little bit of trouble putting the cable system back together because I didn't exactly pay attention to it when I was taking it apart. So I kind of had to go back and look at a picture and figure it out. So that was really the only trouble I had. Everything else kind of made sense when I was putting it back together. But how did it all come out? Well, without further ado, let's check it out. Okay, so here is the finished product. I went ahead and went with mostly a flat black color with some accents of stainless steel, just to be a little different, have a little pop to it. So first let's start off with the bench. Originally the bench had a big yellow stripe going around the outer edge, and all I did was take some black, it's actually leather paint, to paint it. I know this is vinyl, but it worked just fine. And I probably would have went with a flat black. This was kind of a glossy black, but it's what I had already. I didn't see the need to go out and buy a flat black. It looks fine. So that was all I really had to do with the bench. And with the Powertec Levergym, I went ahead and went with that flat black color with a textured Krylon paint. And like I said, most of it got painted in that, but I did put some stainless steel accents, like down here on the band pegs. I thought that was a nice touch, nice pop. And then I went ahead and painted these side support beams a stainless steel as well. And also, it's picking up some yellow in there. You don't really see it when I don't have the light shining in there, but I went with this adjustment piece, painted it stainless steel. Originally, I was thinking about doing this whole piece right here. That doesn't look good. That whole middle piece stainless steel, but I started running out of paint, and that stuff was super expensive. It was like $30 a can. So I said, you know what, I'll stop there, and kind of glad I did, because I think the stainless steel is just enough to pop, make it a little bit different. and the rest of it looks fine in the flat black color. It matched up very well with the black that was already on the Levergym. So you see here, this was originally black, and actually with the light shining on it really bright, it does look a little bit different, but just in the regular lighting, it matches just fine. But yeah, it is kind of a textured black and looks nice. And also I made a few modifications to the Levergym. Like before, I had already numbered these pieces here, or these holes and settings, with these little black stickers I got on Amazon. Just helps when you're trying to remember the adjustments because there's so many of them. So I went ahead and did that again. Something else I did was, I don't know if you caught my other video, but I painted these gray hundreds that I had. I painted them black to match my Rep old school irons, and matches the Levergym as well. But I added these that I got on Amazon. They're just like an adapter sleeve, the 1-inch adapter sleeve. And that was mainly just for aesthetics. Wasn't really necessary, but you know, I don't know why Powertec doesn't do that themselves. It's kind of nasty looking, gets scratched up with the plates that you store on there, and looks pretty bad. So I think these were, a pair of them was about $30 on Amazon. Went ahead and got those, added them, and I think it looks nice. Goes with the overall theme of the Levergym. And I added, you know, I was a little concerned about how this paint would hold up over time, you know, getting nicked up, any kind of metal on metal contact or anything like that. So even though there was a rubber stopper already here on the cable, I went ahead and added another rubber piece off of the old leg press that I took apart, and I added one rubber stopper there just so it wouldn't be slamming against there and scratching or chipping the paint. I also went ahead and purchased the low row foot plate, and it just attaches there to the anchor piece where the workbench normally attaches to, and that's great for the low rows. Usually before I painted it, I would just put my feet up on these support beams here, but you know, after painting it, I didn't want to have to do that. Didn't want to scratch up the paint, so I went ahead and got this foot plate, which I was kind of wanting to get anyway, but just hadn't got around to. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna try to put out some more Levergym content here in the future. Just my training hasn't really included any kind of Levergym workouts at the moment, mostly barbell, and other than the belt squats that I've been doing. Oh yeah, and if you haven't already seen, I'm sure a lot of you have seen my video on the belt squat that I constructed out of pieces from the leg press attachment, and that's it right there. So I'll link it up above. You guys can click on that if it interests you. You can check that out. But like I said, we'll be putting out some more Levergym content in the future for you guys that are interested. And appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.